welcome back to our channel. Today we're talking about what's in my camera bag. So I very rarely use this, so I have a really ugly bag. I want a pretty bag that's, you know, pink and pretty, but I really haven't even thought about it once I'm back home. But I use this probably 3-4 times a year. It's more for when we go to our beach sessions and like wedding photography, which we don't do much of that anymore. We're just too busy here at the studio. So I don't often use this, but if I did, I would have a much prettier bag. So anyway, so my bag, I'm gonna start with that, is a Fotima Professional. I hope I said that right. I'm not sure. I mean, it is a F-O-T-I-M-A. I don't know how else you could say it. Anyway, okay, so my camera of choice is the D300. That's my body. And so with the D300, I purchased the D800 about 2.5 years ago, and I was taking a big step, and you know, it was a good bit more expensive than the D300, so I purchased that because I just wanted to kind of move up and see if it snapped faster and more clearly, or what the benefits were. But the shutter went out in the first year, and I think that just kind of put a bad taste in my mouth for it, so I went back to the D300 and have stuck with that ever since. I've been using the D300 for I think 8 or 9 years now. My indoor studio lens that I use is the 17 to 55 1.28. So it's the Nikon. I use this one for anything, like I said, in the studio with newborns, boudoirs, smash cakes, 369s, kids dancing around. It's a zoom lens, so you can zoom in to get those pretty portrait style, or you can zoom out to get those fun little wide angle pictures. But I love this lens. Now, if I'm outside, I only use this. This is my baby. It is very, very heavy, and yes, it kills my neck, especially on mini session days where we do up to 35 families in one day. I want to cry because my neck does hurt so bad. But this is the, hang on, I gotta get to what the name of it is. It's the 70 to 200 1.28. This lens is awesome with the heavy blur in the background. It just makes everything look so beautiful and rich. The colors from this lens, I just feel like I love everything about it. Besides the fact that it's super heavy, but it's a great lens. So there's that one. Then of course, let's see. Oh, fisheye. Y'all, this lens is so much fun, but it's one of those where you have to have a lot of beautiful scenery around. Otherwise, it's gonna get parking lots or streets, and a lot of the times, like kind of when you're cheating a little bit and you're using like for instance, I use my property every day. So we have the studio here, then we have the house over there, then the road's right there. So it wouldn't work on my property because we don't really have that scenic surrounding, but this would be beautiful in the desert or at the beach. But this lens just captures everything around you, and it is awesome. I had to have one of these. So I love the fisheye lens, but I only get to use it certain times of the year, so kind of sad. Anyway, so there's that. Then of course I have, let me just go through all my lenses while I'm in here. So this is my Nikon. Let's see, I haven't used this thing in forever. This is the 10 to 24 millimeter, 3.5 to 4.5. So this is a wide angle lens. When I first started in photography, I used this thing all the time, like when I was doing the newborns on the ground, to get that big wide angle shot. But now really, this is kind of a moot point because I have the 17 to 55 and I can still zoom. Now this is wider than this, but for what I use it for, the 17 to 55 is all that I need. So I don't really use this baby. So this goes back in its little pouch, and it'll probably stay there until a later time. Now I have a backup camera, of course, the Nikon D300 again. So anytime you're going off property to do a shoot, to do a wedding, to do a family, to do a baby, to do a maternity, whatever you're doing, I really would suggest always having a backup camera. When I started, let's see, 7 or 8 years ago, it was one of my first shoots that I was going to a location to meet somebody, and I pulled my camera out and the shutter was out. So what do? you tell the people you don't have a camera, you can't take their pictures, you're the photographer they've hired, you have to have your backup and you have to be completely prepared. So of course that was in the beginning and I learned my lesson from that experience, so I always have my backup camera. Now, on top of this camera, I'm missing the little front piece because I knock it off. I'm really rough with my cameras, which is kind of awful, but that's okay. I move fast, so that's why. So I've got my CyberSync for my lighting. We use the Alien Bees lighting, and I take that to like when I'm going to like weddings and stuff. I'll use that during the reception. We usually put one on each side of the reception, but for when you're outside or like they have an outdoor area, which usually they do at a wedding, there's an outside area, you're kind of screwed with your lighting. So I always have it on top of the camera flash. This is the newer 690. Anyway, so that's my on top of the camera flash. I don't often use it, but I still like to have it just if we're going off location somewhere and we have a lighting disaster. Okay, so that's my main baggie. Now let's see what else I've got in here. I've got a ton of backup batteries. I usually like to have 5 or 6, and then I even have a charger because if it's a really long day or really long couple of days, if you're out of town somewhere, it's nice to just be able to pop this out of your bag and pop it into a wall somewhere and charge one of your batteries. So I have one of those. I have all of my compact disc. I've got a 32 gig, an 8 gig, and a 16 gig. You could really put your 32 gig in and it should last you all day. But of course, I like to have backups of everything for my camera just to be on the safe side. Because it would be an absolute nightmare if I got somewhere and I couldn't actually photograph. Okay, so when it comes to your clients, I always have bobby pins or these little dress clips, and I don't think they're dress clips, they're kind of industrial clips, but it works for wardrobe. I can't tell you how many times I've seen something happen or a button breaks when somebody's getting out of the car and they're panicking. You just pull this out and pop it back, or you just have somebody with a little outfit that's a little too big, just pop that on and kind of tighten their wardrobe up a little bit. And sometimes even in positioning in when you're doing somebody's pictures, their outfit looks a little loose in certain areas, so I just have these so we can just pop it back and make it look a little bit more fitted. Okay, that's everything. That's everything in my camera bag. I don't think I'm missing anything. So we did one of these a couple years ago, and it just really needed to be updated because that was kind of in the beginning of my business, and now we're a little heavier in, so we have all new equipment and we're using completely different stuff. So I figured I would update this video. Okay, well, I hope y'all enjoyed it. If y'all have any questions on anything, please leave a comment below. Like the video, like us on Facebook at Rachel Tesh Photography, on Instagram, Rachel Tesh _photography, and y'all have a great day. And subscribe to our channel. Bye, guys.